Okay, sorry about any background noise. Sitting at a 24-hour coffee shop, up early getting some admin work done, and wanted to shoot a part 3 video to wrap up what I started yesterday with the part 1 and 2 video. Uh, I was going to say the take profit trader withdrawal that I expected yesterday finally didn't play out here till just about 30 minutes ago. So a little bit of delay. According to them, anybody that did payout or withdrawal requests on Friday, they really didn't approve anything till late Monday into Tuesday in the wee hours of the morning. So they said they were swamped with requests, so or something to that effect. And that's fine. I realize and like I think I mentioned yesterday, I really don't typically ever do a withdrawal on a Friday. I do Thursdays, and it seems like I always have it in my wallet, ready to instantly shoot to my bank account on Friday. And I think in the future, I'm even going to move it to Wednesday because if they keep getting busier and adding more traders and get swamped and payouts start lagging a bit, at least I know for the most part, if I do a withdrawal request, like on a Tuesday night after the market closes and trade clearing goes through and the client portal is updated, then Wednesday, I can do the withdrawal and I should see money on Thursday or at the latest Friday. So once a week, I think I'm going to shift things a bit just because I can tell some of their process are lagging a bit and it makes sense. They're growing like gangbusters. Um, so let's look at one of the pro accounts. That means you're funded. If it doesn't say Take Profit Pro, that's not a funded account. If you ever see where it just says Take Profit and a bunch of numbers, that's an eval account. So let's go review things real quick here. So this all hasn't been updated, I noticed, which is kind of odd. It should already show that I took out 1,000, so it should be showing me at 154 884. But I guess it'll update at some point. And so anyhow, let's go take a look at this account real quick and the action from all the days since it's been funded. So as I mentioned yesterday, on a new funded account, I like to come out of the gates and get that risk management pad. As you can see here this day, that was a big day. I did 30 some hundred, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the balance is 154.2, so that's about $269 shy of having the risk management pad like resolve. Like that's done. That $4,500 that has to sit there to be my risk management pad, and anything over the $4,500 or anything over a balance of 154,500 I can withdraw. And then you can see that day I got $6 over the risk management pad, and I've gradually increased it since. Um, I'm gonna get a little bit more position size today and the rest of the week, and kind of get this equity curve going up a bit. But all in all, day one after it was funded, 1,150, 3 grand, 1,500, and then I have been really, really busy. So some of these days, it's just like I'm getting in trades. I don't like what's happening. I pull it out. Get in trades. Don't like what's happening. Pull out, and so on and so on. And I've been really, really busy, literally, all these days. So end of last week and then yesterday. Today, my schedule is going to be a little bit back to normal. So I'll have more time to focus on this particular account because this one I have to trade manual as I'm awaiting on Algo Studio Pro connected to my bands to start trading automated. I know exactly what I'm going to start trading automated. I have a setup that I really, really like using the dual bands that looks exceptionally robust. And I'm going to let that baby start running fully automated. So, this is all the stuff you can see in your back office portal. And then let's go to the wallet real quick on the two recent withdrawals. So far before the weekend, I did $1,008 withdrawal. and then 800, meaning that was my portion after the 80-20 split. So this one was like I don't know, I was up like 1,250 some, $60 or whatever, and after, yeah, it was 1,250 and change, and my 80% split was that. Then I did a withdrawal of 1,000, so my 80% split was that, and they were already, succeeded in withdrawn and sent off to my bank account. So very likely today I'll make sure I'm at 1,000 to 1,250 over and above my pad, and I'll process one more withdrawal tomorrow or tonight after the trade clearing hits. I'll process one more withdrawal. I'll probably trade till I can withdraw 1,250 on an 80-20 split. That leaves me $1,000 even. And then with this particular account, I'm just moving to every Wednesday, whatever's in there, positive, I withdraw, and that's it. I'll just do a withdrawal once a week. I don't want to be dinging around doing, constant withdrawals during the week. But in the beginning, since I'm using this account to fund turning on and getting a chain of a total of 5 here ready to go, so I can have 5 accounts connected to Rithmic on a set of 5 accounts just for the Quantower platform. That's kind of, I'm doing some withdrawals to fund firing up the other accounts, I guess is what you could say. Okay, now I want to go and review some of the trading action from yesterday that I was showing on NinjaTrader 8. But now I want to go show what the setups were that I was seeing on the Quantower side, and we'll go review that. Okay, so here was leading up the 8:30 U.S. session open. They came in and did that pump. And if you remember in yesterday's videos, I said we had a level sweep and rotation. And let me turn off the damn cursor or crosshair. I don't need that. So that was that rotation right here that I showed you on the NinjaTrader chart that had rotation, and I did have a signal there. So that was the area after a level sweep that I worked short side action. Then there was some rotations after that where price lifted a bit, but you can see, and I mentioned yesterday, we were getting lower pivot highs, so on. So I stayed on the short side. So I put on some initial positions, took some off. We made another rotation. I added some, took some off, and yeah, right around 9. So that was that last rotation. So here we just were peaking our price candlestick outside the main bands. We did get a rotation after that. So I'd hit it once, twice, 3 times as a dynamic trade to get to a daily goal on that particular account that I was showing yesterday. So that got me to like 700, and I think, just right around 700 or 7 and small amount of change. So that was yesterday's action as seen on Quantower. Now, I'm not even yet on what I would call optimized settings. I have settings that I'm used to using. I'm just leaving it there. Once I connect Algo Studio Pro to this Quantower platform as a beta tester, because they have beta test openings now, and I set up some basic trade criteria, entry, where's the stop, where's the targets, what happens in trade with any trail stop. Then I can go and use a really simple strategy with anything from like a 3-to-1 reward to risk, and then use that to go say, okay, on this particular time frame, on this instrument, show me the best band settings for the fast and slow, or the fast and the main. And now we have a lot of settings, and let's take a look at those real quick. So if I go into the settings, now I have the ability to set either an ATR or a deviation for the width of the main bands and the fast bands. We've added that. That's the responsiveness rate of the main bands to price. And I can smooth that now. I can use Aaron's Smooth or T3. The Smooth is very unique. Aaron's is not too many people use it. This is a version of Aaron's that I found that I use in FX that I like. And I can do minimal smoothing or more smoothing. So I can make all these bands as smooth as I want. And in the end, the bands they do not recalculate and they do not repaint. And what you're seeing here is what played out live. So this is not any historical refresh. This is exactly what played out on these particular settings. And then I set my width of the main bands when I use ATR function. If I use the deviation function, then I would set the width of the bands here. I always leave my ATR period at 100. I never mess with that when I'm using ATR period. Then on the fast bands, I have them set pretty fast. I am smoothing them ever so slightly with only a smoothing period of 2. So that's just a nice, just gives me some nice rounded. Remember yesterday on NT8, I was showing some of the areas were a little jagged. That's because it's just raw data. There's no smoothing. Now I can smooth that. Even if I went to a 3, these would be like really pretty, but I don't need that. That works for me for what I like to see visually. And then I can turn on the arrows. All the arrows are, and really they're triangles, but we call them arrows. All these are telling me, it's kind of giving me a heads up that, hey, you're spending time outside the bands. And so it's kind of like a heads up indication that, okay, price is now piercing outside the main band. And then we're getting closes back in alignment with the mean, pointing, in other words, candle closes then are in alignment with the mean. And we had some here. We came down, closed back in the direction of the mean. Came down, closed back in the direction of the mean, and so on. Here, pull back, close down in the direction of the mean. So anyhow, that's all that means. I don't use those. Now, could I go in and optimize the arrows? You know, keep widening the bands and widening the bands, like no matter how big the move is. I could use the triangles as optional, as actionable trade entries in a strategy with Algo Studio Pro. Yeah, you could do that. Or you can just make the fast bands super fast and just use the cross signals, and you're going to be right about in the area that you have some of the triangles also. And you could, put some rule that says, hey, I want like a 1 lot thrown on at a triangle entry, and don't throw on any other positions unless I have a triangle that's 10 bars after my first entry or later, or 12 bars or 15, whatever you want. With Algo Studio Pro, you can come up with all your own algorithmic sequenced rules for getting into managing the trade. Then the day we kind of were trading lower, and we got one big push there into the end part of the day. So you could see we were kind of in a downward channel, getting some oscillations back and forth, and then we had a big push. And that thing pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and they cleaned out some levels and then rotated lower, pretty big rotation lower into the end part of the day. Let's go back and take a look at that. Yeah, that was a pretty significant, took a while, and then the sell-off into the end part of the day played out. So this all ran live, and I saved it. I haven't done anything to it. So that's what played out yesterday on these particular settings. And they're kind of visually optimized for what I like. They're not optimized with any sort of application or automated strategy optimization as of yet. That will come here, and now that we got beta testers coming on board with Quantower Algo Studio Pro, we're going to start putting out a lot of information to our group on what the data is telling us are best settings. So anyhow, if you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com. Have a great trade day.